Business news from the Capital Region. This is Washington Business Report with ABC7 national correspondent Rebecca Cooper.
Thanks for joining us this week for a fresh look at business and finance in the Washington region and how it affects you. Coming up on today's show, advice for small businesses from a big name in Washington. And the annual CEO survey is out, what you need to know about 2015 predictions and trends from 1,400 of the people at the top of the business ladder. Advice from a big name in Washington. When the Webster Group was created in 1995, it quickly became a powerful and respected firm in the world of event planning. And we all know that is a key industry here in Washington. The Webster Group has been such a big name for so long, we were surprised to see the stunning growth this company is still experiencing 2 decades later. Named in 2014 to Inc. magazine's list of the fastest growing companies nationwide. Join us today to share the secrets of growing a company started in their home basement and how even small businesses can put on events with a wow factor. Founder of the Webster Group, Lynda Webster. And Lynda Webster, you've been on the show before, but it's been a while. I want to share with our audience first your growth. How does a company that's been big for 2 decades suddenly become one of the fastest growing companies in the past year? What's going on?
Well, Washington's a great place to do business. I think the city has gotten more active. There's a lot more to do than there was even 20 years ago, and we're excited to be part of it.
And you want to. I mean, you have been a busy woman for a long time. To have that kind of growth that you all are seeing, you say, bring it on.
Bring it on. I've got 20 really good, well-trained, smart people, and once you've got the economy of scale, you can take on more. And we're now going global, so it's...
well, everyone's wanting to have events as part of their business structure, from media organizations to small businesses to big businesses. Events have become part of how you brand yourself as a company. What are the key ways that any company could use an event to brand themselves better?
Well, Rebecca, the most important thing, I believe, is to first think through, what is the purpose for an event? Why am I doing it? Because so often people will go off doing an event and not really think through all the other things that could be accomplished during an event. So first you have to establish a real purpose and understand what it is. If it's a fundraiser, you do an event a certain way. If it is a government event, you do it a different way sometimes. And corporate events have their own style, and you have your own branding, your own feel. So you have to spend a lot of time thinking about what the event's all about.
Well, we're showing some of the pictures. You've done the spectrum from corporate events, government events, to big productions, to one of the iconic events in Washington, Black Tie and Boots, the Texas inaugural ball. You've done them all, and you have big wow factor, but you clearly have a big budget for some of these events that you're doing. Tell us the secret to having a small budget but still wowing your audience. Do you put your money in the flowers? Do you put your money in getting a big name as your key guest or keynote speaker? Where do you put your budget?
Well, actually, you're showing pictures of the National Cherry Blossom kickoff event, which has a small budget.
Really?
Yes. It looks wow because we've used good lighting and we've used a simple set, but a nice set. So there are a lot of ways you can make an event look expensive.
That look like a very high dollar event, and Cherry Blossom is a very high profile event.
It is, but they have to raise every dime that they spend, so they do it very well, but they do everything with the Cherry Blossom Festival on a budget. But it doesn't look like it's a budget event.
So 2 things that any small business should bring to any event.
Well, first of all, some creativity. What makes their brand stand out? What do they say about themselves? And decor is nice, but don't overdo it. And that's what happens in Washington. People just sometimes try to overdo it, and then they've blown their budget. So you don't have to overdo it in this town.
Spoken from a woman who's done big corporate events, but started off with charity and still doing lots of charity work today. Lynda Webster, we always like to learn from the best. Thanks so much for joining us. And when we return, the results are in. 1,400 CEOs were interviewed on best practices, focus, and innovation. We break down the findings and highlight the single most important factor and what CEOs are looking for in an employee. Stay with us.